The students, yesterday we got ourselves introduced to Caliban. Also we listened to the filthy dialogue between Prospero and Caliban. Today we have another important character introduced, that is Ferdinand. So today we will be looking at the following story, the subplots. The first song of Ariel. There are two songs. First song of Ariel. Ferdinand's sorrow is reduced by it. The first song of Ariel reduces the sorrow of Ferdinand, who was sad because he lost his father. The second song of Ariel confirms the death of Alonso. There was some doubt whether Alonso is alive or not. It is confirmed that he is dead. Then Ferdinand meets Miranda, the beginning of romance. Love at first sight. This I need not explain. You are all young people, you are quite familiar with this. Beginning of romance, love at first sight. They admire each other. That is, Miranda admires Ferdinand and Ferdinand admires the qualities of Miranda. Prospero is delighted, he is overjoyed, but does not want to show it. He has his own reasons. Since he does not want to show it, therefore distances himself from Ferdinand. Prospero distances himself from Ferdinand. We shall begin from verse 433. Exit Caliban, re-enter Ariel, invisible, playing and singing, Ferdinand following. So, Ariel and Ferdinand enter. Ariel is playing music and singing. Ariel's song. Come unto these yellow sands and then take hands. Curtsied when you have her and kissed, the wild waves whist. Foot it featly here and there, and sweet spirits the burden bear. Hark, hark. So come unto these yellow sands. Come unto means come on to these yellow sands, and then we shall join hands. We shall hold our hands together, and when you have bowed and kissed the wave into silence. Now the waves are not silent. So when you have bowed, lowered yourself and kissed the waves and silenced them, then dance lightly here and there. Then you dance here and there. Then take hands. So curtsied when you have and kiss the wild waves whist. Foot it featly here and there. Dance here and there. And sweet spirits, sweet sprites are spirits, sweet sprites the burden bear. They will join in the chorus. They will join in the chorus. Chorus is the one which is sung together. The stanza is sung by one person and chorus is sung by a group of people. So Ariel sings the stanza. Chorus is sung by a group of spirits. Hark, hark means listen. Listen, listen. Burden dispersely within bow, bow. Burden within, burden is meaning is given there as a chorus. dispersely. That is, the chorus or refrain of the song is heard off the stage. Not on the stage, off the stage. From different places, dispersely. Disperse means to scatter. Disperse. You have dispersal at the end of the day in the school. So, scattering. So, dispersely it is heard, not in unison. You are not in unison, but here and there. From here, from there, from here, like that. What is that chorus? Bow, bow. What is bow, bow? Bow, bow is a barking of the dog. For children call the dog bow, bow in their own language. But here it is, bow, bow is a barking sound of the dog. The watchdogs bark. That's it. The watchdogs are barking bow, bow. Burden dispersely within bow, bow. Once again. Hark, hark, I hear the strain of strutting chanticleer. The strain of strutting chanticleer. Strain is crowing. Strutting is arrogant or proud or showing off. Chanticleer is the name for domestic cock. You can say rooster, R-O-O-S-T-E-R, rooster, or domestic cock. So the last line, the strain of strutting chanticleer, you can put it in simple words, the clear and loud crowing of a cock. The clear and loud crowing of a cock. When a mighty cock crows, it feels very proud of it. You must have listened. Here, being in the towns and cities, you may not have cocks. Those of you have cocks grown at home, in the villages especially, early hours, sometimes even at middle of the night, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and they will get up and they will crow. When they crow, you must look at it. They'll stand erect and put his head up and crow as if he is so proud of it. So that is the meaning of strutting chanticleer. Peacock, dancing of a peacock also is strutting. Feels so proud of its dance. Okay. Cry, cock a diddle-do. Cry, cock a diddle-do. So this is doodle-do. You are familiar with doodle-do. It's a rhyme, no? Doodle-do. Did you learn in the smaller classes? Doodle-do. My mom lost her, I don't remember. Okay, anyway, there's a rhyme. That's a doodle-do. That is how the croc, crying of the cock is a diddle-do. The sound made by a croc. Cock. Cry, cock, a diddle-do. So that's all about this song. This is a kind of comforting song, that's all. A song to comfort Ferdinand, who is in sorrow. So Ariel comes and the spirits also join in the chorus. Ariel plays music and sings and makes Ferdinand happy. Ferdinand, where should this music be? In the air or the earth? Is it from down below the earth or is it from above the earth? That is from the skies. It sounds no more. What happened? It stopped. No more it is heard. And sure it waits upon some god on the island. So he is saying it must be played for some gods, some local gods on the island. It's a wonderful song. So it must be played for some local gods on the island. Sitting on a bank, weeping again, the king, my father's wreck. This music crept by me upon the waters, allaying both their fury and my passion. With its sweet air, hence I have followed it, or it hath drawn me rather, but it is gone. So Ferdinand is explaining about this music, how he heard it, when he heard it and where he heard it, and what was the effect it had on him. When did he hear it? When he was sitting at the bank of the sea. That is, he was sitting at the sea coast or the shore of the sea. He was so sorrowful because his father has been dead in the shipwreck. Weeping again, the king my father's wreck, this music crept by me upon the waters. It was just moving over the waters that time when I was sitting there, allaying both their fury and my passion. Allaying means subsiding, reducing, making it lower and lower. Allaying both their fury, that is the violence, fury is violence, the violence of the waves and the passion, suffering of mine. That is the sorrow of Ferdinand with its sweet air. The sweetness of the music has reduced the violence of the wave, and it has also reduced the passion, that is the suffering of mind. Such a sweet music. Thence I have followed it. From there onwards, I followed it. Or it hath drawn me rather. Should I say that I followed it? No. More correct is that the music has pulled me in. Music has dragged me. But it is gone. He feels sad that the music is gone. He enjoyed it. No, it begins again. No, it's not gone. It's there again. Ariel sings. This is the second song. Full fathom 5 thy father lies. Of his bones are coral made. Those are pearls that were his eyes. Nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. It's a very beautiful song. The first song you may not follow the meaning, but the second song is very clear. Very, very, very meaningful. Full fathom 5 thy father lies. Your father lies, sleeps 5 fathom below the sea. 5 fathom. Fathom is, you know that this is a measurement used in the sea. So, very, very, very much deep. 5 fathom down, he is lying there. Of his bones are coral made. A transformation has taken place. A transformation or change has taken place. All his body and every part of his body has changed into something else. Of his bones are coral made. That is, his bones have been turned into coral. Those are pearls that were his eyes. His eyes have turned into pearls. Nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change. There is nothing that hasn't been destroyed. Everything has been that. There is nothing that has been destroyed. Nothing is there. Everything is changed, but not decayed, not destroyed. They all have been transformed into something else. Gives only 2 examples. Bones have been transformed into corals, eyes have been transformed into pearls. So, no part of his body was destroyed, but everything has been transformed. He calls it sea change. But doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. They have become something rich and strange. Strange means unusual. Rich means rich in value. So, he did not worry. He is telling Ferdinand, all the parts of your father has been and has undergone a sea change. They have been transformed into rich and valuable things. Sea nymphs hourly ring his knell. Sea nymphs, you know what is sea nymphs, already explained last day. Sea nymphs hourly ring his knell. Knell is a funeral bell. This is among the Catholics, Christians. There is a custom when somebody dies, every hour they ring the bell till the funeral is over, to make it known to people that somebody has died. So, sea nymphs hourly, every hour rings the funeral bell. They are ringing the funeral bell of your daddy, your father. Burden within, chorus within, ding dong. So here the refrain or chorus is ding dong. First song it was bow bow, bow bow bow. Here it is ding dong. Hark, now I hear them, ding dong bell. So Ariel is saying, listen, now I hear them, ding dong bell. Hark means listen or pay attention. Ferdinand, the ditty does remember my drowned father. So the song has confirmed that Alonso is no more. He is dead and he has been transformed into rich and useful things. Ferdinand, the ditty does remember my drowned father. Ditty is a song. The song is about my dead father. So Ferdinand is saying, the ditty does remember my drowned father, means the song is about my dead father. This is no mortal business. So it is no mortal business, means it is not coming from the human beings. It is not from human beings, it is coming from the immortal. Mortal is that those who live for short time are mortals. Immortal are those who live forever, eternal. So, it's not coming from the mortal beings, therefore it is coming from the immortal, that is divine. It's coming from some godly beings, heavenly beings. Nor no sound that the earth owes. Owes means owns. So the music is not from earth, it is coming from heaven. And it is not owned by earth. That means it is not from earth, it is from heaven. I hear it now above me. Now I can hear it from above. So it is heard from different directions. Earlier it was heard face to face. Now it is heard from above. Prospero, the fringed curtains of thine eye advance and say what thou seest yond. This is high level of poetry. See, now Ariel is directing Ferdinand towards the cell of Prospero. Ariel is bringing Ferdinand towards the cell of Prospero. So Prospero sees Ferdinand coming from far away. So he is telling his daughter Miranda, the fringed curtains of thine eye advance and say what thou seest yond. Fringed is decorated with a fringe. Fringe is a hem. Fringe is a hem or edge or a border. You have sari, your saris, border saris, saris having borders. You have dhoti or dhotis having border. You have various dresses. There are various dresses having borders because borders give a lot of beauty and elegance to the clothes. So that is a fringe. So fringed curtains, curtains having fringe, having hem or edge. The fringed curtains of thy eye. So the edge or hem of the cloth. Like that, eye has what? An edge or hem. What is that? That is the eyelids. Your eyelids are the covering of your eyes. That is the fringe of your eye. The fringed curtains of thine eye. Your eyes are covered with a curtain, with a fringe. So, you remove the hem or edge that is covering your eyes. Simply saying, Miranda, open your eyes and look who is coming. That's all. Open your eyes and look who is coming. Instead of that, high poetry, the fringe curtains of thine eye advance. Advance means raise. Raise, open. And say, what thou seest yond. Yond means over there. What thou seest yonder. Open your eyes and see what do you see there, coming from there, over there. Miranda, what is it? A spirit? What is that? Is it a spirit? Because Miranda is used to only spirits. She is living with Prospero the magician, therefore she is more familiar with spirits and she hasn't seen many human beings. Lord, how it looks about. Oh, but it is a spirit. So she is impressed. So she says, handsome looking. The physical appearance looks very good, very elegant, very handsome person. But he is a spirit. Prospero, no wench, no girl, it eats and sleeps and hath such senses as we have. We have means we do. It's just like us. It can eat, it sleeps, it has such senses means 5 senses as we do, as we have. It is not a spirit. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck. Gallant is a young gentleman. Gallant is gentleman. This gallant, this gentleman which thou seest, that is coming from there and whom you are able to see, was in the wreck. Was in the wreck means was in the ship that wrecked. But he is something stained. Stained means disfigured. Disfigured or spoiled. Disfigured. That means the figure has lost its beauty. The beauty is gone. Or spoiled. Any of the meaning you can take. So this gentleman was in the ship which wrecked, but he is something stained, that is somewhat disfigured, with grief. What is the cause of his disfiguration or his spoiling or his looking so weak or ugly? The reason is grief, sorrow. That is beauty's canker. Canker is cancer. That is beauty's canker. Cancer is something that destroys. You know, cancerous cells. Biology students will know. Mathematics students don't feel jealous of biology students, because literature is connected more with biology than mathematics, unfortunately. Because many of the terms used in literature is life. Literature is life, and biology also is biology, study of living beings. Therefore, it has not a connections. So cancerous cells are cells that eat your body, that destroy your body. That is beauty's canker. That is beauty's cancerous cells. That is to say, that which destroys beauty. So what is it that destroys beauty? Yes, it is a grief. It is grief that destroys beauty. Grief is sorrow. Sorrow, pain. So sorrow and pain in life destroys your appearance. It makes you look not so beautiful. It disfigures you. That is beauty's canker. Thou mightst call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows and strays about to find them. Thou mightst call him a goodly person. Goodly person means good looking person. That is handsome person. He hath lost his fellows. Fellows means comrades. Comrades, people who were with him. Comrades were people who were working with him. And strays, wanders about. Stray about means to wander about, to find them. You may call him handsome. Yes, he is very handsome. But he is full of sorrow because he has lost his near and dear ones. So he is looking around for the people who have been lost. He is searching for the lost people of his comrades. Miranda, I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble. I ever saw so noble. I might call him a thing divine. That is, I would imagine that he is a divine being. I would imagine. Miranda says, I would imagine that he is very divine. What is the reason? For means since nothing in nature means on earth. Nothing on earth I ever saw so noble. Such a noble creature I haven't seen on earth. I have seen spirits, but not human beings. On earth, first time I am seeing such a noble person. Therefore, he must be a divine person. See, when we look at people, we make calculations. When we meet somebody first time, we make some judgments. Okay, he is so good, or he is bad. He looks, is very pleasing, or he is very approachable, or she is very beautiful. She will be very good to me. She will be a good friend of mine. Like that, we make a lot of judgments, just by looking at the people itself. So similarly, Miranda, just by looking at Ferdinand, she has come to conclude that he is a very good person, a divine person. Prospero, aside. Whenever they use aside means within, not outside, not heard outside. That is, Prospero tells himself, that's the meaning. Prospero aside, it goes on. I see, as my soul prompts it, spirit, fine spirit, I will free thee within 2 days for this. So he is delighted. Prospero is very happy. It goes on means my plan works. My plan works. It has happened. That's what I wanted. And it's happening. I'm happy about it. As my soul prompts it. Prompt means urge, desire. As my heart urges, or just as I desired. This was my desire that Miranda should like Ferdinand and she should fall in love with him. That's what I wanted. And it is just happening as I planned. Spirit, fine spirit, oh graceful spirit, Ariel, I will free thee within 2 days for this. Earlier he had promised that after 2 days everything goes on well, he will free him. Now he is very much pleased. For this, I will free you within 2 days. Ferdinand, most sure, the goddess on whom their heirs attend, vouchsafe my prayer, may know if you remain upon this island, and that you will some good instruction give, how I may bear me here. My prime request, which I do last pronounce, is, O you wonder, if you be made or no. So Ferdinand also has a similar opinion about Miranda. Just Miranda had very good opinion about Ferdinand. Miranda said he must be a divine person because he is the noblest person as seen on earth. Ferdinand is used to so many people. He was in Naples. He is the son of the king. He has been in touch with so many people, especially he must have seen many beautiful women. In spite of all that, when he saw Miranda, he was overwhelmed. He couldn't even make out whether she is a human being or goddess. Most sure, the goddess on whom these air attend. Air is melody. You remember last time he said they must be singing these songs for the local gods who are living on this island. Now he is connecting it, saying that most sure the goddess on whom these air attend. That is, they must have been singing these songs to please these gods. So she must be a goddess, not a human being. Vouchsafe my prayer. Heed my prayer. Listen to my prayer. Answer my prayer. What is the prayer? He has got 3 things. Ferdinand wants to know 3 things. So he places them, less important things first and the most important question at the last. So it is not in the ascending order. It is in the descending order. I don't know. I am not so familiar with mathematics. Math students will know. So he presents them in the ascending order or descending order. I do not know. Okay, you tell me afterwards. So first, less important things first. Most important thing at last. So what is the order? You must tell me. May know if you remain upon this island. That is the first thing he wants to know. May know if you remain upon this island. Do you dwell in this island or somewhere else? Are you an inhabitant of this island? That is his first question. Second one. and that you will some good instruction give, how I may bear me here. Good instruction. Instruction, you know. Some advice. Give some advice how I may bear. Bear means behave or sustain. How I should behave myself here. I am strange to this island. I got used to living in, he doesn't say that, I got used to living in the palace of the king. I am not used to this island and this place where there are no people abiding. But I want to survive. So you give me some advice, some instruction, how I should conduct myself, how I should behave here. That is the second request. First thing is to say whether you are an inhabitant of this island. You are dwelling here or somewhere else. Second, give some instructions so that I can conduct myself well here. And the third one, my prime request. What I said so far is only minor things. The prime, that is the principal or chief, most important request is, which I do last pronounce. My last question is the most important one, is, oh you wonder. He is calling her wonder. Wonder means marvelous thing, magnificent thing, marvelous. Oh marvelous creature. If you be made or no. If you be made or no. Actually it has got two meanings. One is, if you be made or no means, are you a human being or a goddess? Another meaning is, you are a married woman or unmarried woman. Maid is something like spinster. Spinster. So, are you married or unmarried? Or you are a human being or a goddess? That is my last question. So, he is interested in knowing whether Miranda is married or unmarried. Miranda, no wonder sir. No wonder sir means, I am not a wonder, I am not marvelous. I am an ordinary woman. But certainly a maid. But I am a maid. Ferdinand, when Miranda spoke, she said only this much. No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid. The moment Miranda spoke, he knew that it was his own language. The language of Naples. He recognized it. So, you are so much thrilled. Suppose you go to a foreign country like America or Australia, and there you suddenly hear somebody speaking Hindi, and you'll be overjoyed. Hare, speaking my language. You'll be so much overjoyed. So Ferdinand was overjoyed. My language, heavens, oh God, she is speaking my language. I am the best of them that speak this speech. Were I but where it is spoken. I am the best of them that speak this speech. Best of them means highest in ranking, the first one. The best one, the first one. I will be the first in the ranking who speaks this language. If I were in a place where it is spoken. That is, if I were in Naples, I would be the number one to speak this language. Prospero, how the best? What wert thou if the king of Naples heard this? heard thee. Now, Prospero immediately asked, okay, you are saying if you were in Naples, you would have been the first ranking, that is the king of Naples. Be careful. If king of Naples were to hear it, what would happen? How the best? What wert thou if the king of Naples heard thee? If the king of Naples were to hear this, what would become of you? So Prospero is giving a hint, or is asking, trying to find out from Ferdinand what is his idea about his daddy. He knows, Prospero knows that his daddy is not dead, but Ferdinand doesn't know. Ferdinand, a single thing as I am now, that one days to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine eyes, never since at ebb, beheld the king my father wrecked. So now Ferdinand gives answer to Prospero. Prospero, when he asked if your father were to hear what would have happened, then he says, a single thing. That is, he will be very fine to see me as I am. A single thing as I am now. That one day is to hear thee speak of Naples. I am wondered, I am really thrilled to hear that you are speaking about Naples and the king of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does I weep. He does hear me. My father is able to hear me. He is able to see me feeling sorrow for him. Myself am Naples. Myself am Naples means I am the king of Naples. I am the king of Naples. Why? And that he does I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine eyes, you leave that one, never since it ebb, you leave that one, you must read it like this. Myself am Naples, who with mine eyes beheld the king my father wrecked. Okay. I'll read once again. Myself am Naples, I am the king of Naples. Why? Who with mine eyes, I with my own eyes beheld, saw the king my father wrecked. I saw my father wrecked means being engaged in the shipwreck and going down and dying. He has died in the shipwreck. I myself saw it. Therefore he is no more. Since he is no more, I am the king of Naples. Now you will come to what is left there. Never since at ebb. That is from the never since. That means always in ebb. Free from tears. Never since free from tears means my eyes were always in tears from the moment I saw my father dying in the shipwreck. Never since at ebb is free from tears. Never free from tears. That means Ferdinand's eyes were full of tears from the very moment he saw his father dying in the shipwreck. So here he expresses two things. That he feels greatly for his father who died in the shipwreck, and he has been crying. And if my father is to see me, in this situation. I am not scared because he will be able to understand me and my sorrow. Since my father is no more, I am the king of Naples. Miranda. Alack for mercy. Ah, how pitiful it is. Alack for mercy means, oh, what a pity. You saw your father dying in the shipwreck and you are in sorrow. What a pity. Ferdinand. Yes, faith. Faith means indeed. Yes, faith. Yes, indeed. Surely. All king's men and all his lords, all king's men, the Duke of Milan and his brave son being twain. Twain means two. Two of them. Two of them means here, two of them means who? Duke of Milan, that is Antonio and his son. Antonio and his son. And all the king's men, Alonso's men and Alonso. So Alonso, the men of Alonso, Antonio and Antonio's son. All of them died. Prospero aside is telling to himself without the hearing of others, the Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter could control thee, if now it were fit to do it. So when Ferdinand said that, he did not mention the name Antonio. He said the Duke of Milan and his brave son also died in the shipwreck. So Prospero is telling himself, okay, Duke of Milan and his son died, but Duke of Milan and his daughter is here. The Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter, braver than the son of Antonio, or braver than Antonio himself, could control thee. We, both of us, could easily control thee means challenge thee. Challenge thee if now it were fit to do it. Now it is not the time. Fit means fitting time or the right time. If it was the right time to challenge you, both of us would have challenged you. Unfortunately, this is not the right time. At the first sight, they have changed eyes. Prospero is again telling himself, at the first sight, they have changed eyes. Changed eyes here means fallen in love. Love at first sight. So, beginning of romance, love at first sight. So, that is, love at first sight is, they have changed eyes. Fallen in love. Delicate. So, there the meaning given, they have given it. You may mistake it for some other meaning. That is, lovers are with one another's eyes, not exchange glances. They have changed eyes. So there is a possibility, you may think that they have changed eyes means they have exchanged eyes. That is, one looked into the eye of the other and the other looked in the eye of this person. They looked into each other's eyes. You may think, but that is not the meaning. The meaning is that lovers see with one another's eyes. Ferdinand is able to see through the eye of Miranda, and Miranda is able to see through the eye of Ferdinand. That is love. That is real love. So, in the first sight itself, they have fallen in true love. Delicate Ariel, I will set thee free for this. You have done a wonderful work. You have led them so wonderfully that they have fallen in love at first sight itself. For this, I will set you free in 2 days. So this much he tells to himself without the hearing, without Miranda and Ferdinand hearing it. Now he tells to Ferdinand, a word, good sir, I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word. A word, good sir, means, could I have a word with you? I would like to say something to you. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. I think you have done something wrong. Some mistake you have committed. You have done something wrong. Can I have a word with you? Now when Prospero was talking to Ferdinand, can I have a word with you? That time Miranda tells herself. She thinks within herself. Without Prospero and Ferdinand hearing, Miranda tells herself, why speaks my father so ungently? Gentleman, gently, kindly. Ungently means unkindly. That is rudely. R-U-D-L-Y, rudely. Why speaks my father so rudely? This is the third man that ever I saw. This is the third man that ever I saw. The first that ever I sighed for. That ever sighed for, pity move my father to be inclined by way. So, Miranda is telling herself, my father is very unkind to Ferdinand. I wish that he is more friendly with him, more kind to him, not so rude. And then she says that he is the third man that ever I saw. He is the third man I have ever seen. Who are the first two? Who was the first one? It must have been none other than Prospero himself. Who was the second man? It must have been Caliban, the horrible one. And the third person is Ferdinand. So Ferdinand is the third man whom I have met. The first that I ever sighed for, S-I-G-H-E-D, sighed for. I told you last day, sigh is a long breath. That is sigh. But sigh for means, another meaning is longed for. That is felt romantic feelings for. Felt romantic feelings for. Ferdinand is the third man I have ever seen, and he is the first man with whom I have some romantic feelings. Romantic means love. I was not moved by this kind of feeling till now. He is the third man whom I meet and the first man who has made me to feel for him. Pity move my father. Pity move my father to be inclined my way. Pity move my father to be inclined my way. The meaning of it is that I hope my father takes pity on me. Miranda is telling herself, I hope that Prospero, my daddy, takes pity on me and treats Ferdinand well for my sake. I wish that my father feels for me, shows pity on me and treats Ferdinand in a kind way for my sake, because I have fallen in love with him. We shall stop here today. Thank you.